Is Diablo 4 saved? Is the redemption near? Is it possible? Huge class reworks, new paragon glyphs, huge stat changes, and more in Season 2. Let's see.
Ladies, gentlemen, and haradrim of all ages, it's only been a few days since the first developer livestream regarding Season 2 for Diablo 4, but there's been so much extra chatter from the devs that I'd feel remiss if I didn't talk about it, even knowing that there's a whole other developer stream coming up in just a few days. Part of what has come up is clarification about previous information we were told on the first stream, some of it is new information on what to expect to go down on the stream that's on the 10th, and some of it is just a deeper dive on Season 2, as after the last stream ended, they put up a full blog post with a bit more information that definitely has some.
I have to say about the dev stream. You World of Warcraft players completely have ruined updates for Blizzard because you constantly were crying, oh, the developers are not talking to us, the developers are not speaking to us. And now look at where we are. The Diablo 4 devs are making a 4-hour stream to talk about stuff that maybe 20 minutes of are important. I'm not gonna watch a 4-hour stream. I got places to be, people to meet, things to do. I'm not gonna just sit there listen to a 4-hour stream of like probably something akin 7 people who combined create a half a personality. No, thank God for videos like this that summarize those dev streams. Because man are those streams just bad.
Some major relevance. So let's start off by rounding up that blog post for starters for those who missed it. We learned during the stream a lot of info about the vampiric powers in Season 2, but we got some more specifics here in this blog.
Yes. Overall, I'm excited about Season 2 because I see more good than currently bad. Obviously, we still need to see how it plays out. Oh, but the vampiric powers are a death and tell, okay? The vampiric powers are as generic as they can be. So that's a problem.
Posts that are quite important. First of all, that Potent Blood is a new material drop from various enemy types within the season, and you will use this to either roll on random new powers that you can use, or upgrade powers that you already have to higher levels, with level 3 being the maximum. Each power has a requirement of certain packs on your armor to activate. In the stream, we were told that pieces of armor would roll with some random packs on them, and that there would be items that we could get to apply specific packs.
Okay, the pack system is not complicated, anyone's wondering. Think of it as, just your items having the ability to have a green socket, blue socket, or a red socket on them. And every item has one of five socket slots like this. And then you can pick what kind of socket you want there. Essentially, it's a super well, honestly, super redundant system that doesn't do anything. It's not gonna matter at all. I can tell you that much. So, yeah, I don't... Well, the vampiric powers themselves are just multipliers that don't do anything special. But yeah, ironically, Season 2 worst part is the season itself. The core season mechanic of Season 2, ironically, is the by far worst part of the season, in my opinion.
Pre-existing armor on top of that, but one thing that I left out in the stream that was included here in this blog is a big deal as well, is the cleansing acid item, which removes all packs from a piece of equipment. And obviously the existence of this means that there is no actual forced RNG in this system anymore at a top level.
Yeah, it also means there's no point to this system in the first place. This is just going to be an annoying hindrance that's going to become absolutely irrelevant after the first 10 minutes you try and deal with it.
Because as long as you have farmed up enough of the packed application consumables, you can use the cleansing acid to fully customize your armor packs however you would want them to be. Then we just had the full list of vampiric powers revealed. I blitzed through it on my stream recap video, but to check them out again here, there are a ton of actually genuinely interesting ones. 20% cooldown reduction on ultimate skills is pretty big, as well as bonus damage to ultimate skills depending on damage over time effects, increased companion and similar skill.
Yeah, you see this? I'm seeing a lot of percents. I'm seeing only percents. 20% ultimate skill cooldown reduction. Wow. Yeah, I'm so excited. I just can't hide it at this point, Wow. Yeah, the vampiric powers are gonna be failures. Vampiric powers are gonna be okay. Which are the? There's no point in thinking. There's no point in doing anything. Just Google which is the cookie cutter best thing, and that's probably gonna even be the exact same for all classes.
Damage to crowd control enemies, things like Prey on the Weak for not only bonus vulnerable application from the powers themselves, so you don't even need it in your skill set, but also increased damage to vulnerable enemies, lots of healing and interesting interactions with basic skills as well, and of course the major powers too, which are the ones that require significantly larger packed investment. All in all, these just look a bit more interesting.
Okay, so this is the major power, I guess? Or all these major powers? Hitting an enemy basically adds stack speed for 10 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. That seems shitty. And then rage, base skill damage, 15% movement speed. So it's a permanent thing, okay. So yeah, this is just bonus percentiles. You know? Even the first expansion, the Caged Hearts, was more unique than this because it actually did something. This is just pick and choose 5 of the exact same passives, stat increases for every class the same way. It's not gonna be good.
The Mulligan Hearts from Season 1 to me, even if it is the same basic concept at the center, just really expanded. The general idea of these is being class agnostic gives them more room to have interesting interactions with each individual class. We also got to see 3 new seasonal blessings. We know there are a total of 5, with these 3 being new: Urn of Blood, which will boost your Hunter's Acclaim rate, which is tied to Blood Harvest; Urn of Helltides to give you a chance of extra equipment from Helltide chests. There will be legendary quality at minimum, which seems pretty good, and Urn of Swift Travel to lower Mount
really
Spur
good.
Cooldown time, which seems great. One last thing past that, then
Wait.
we got.
So, bruh, one of the things that they did for Season 2 is they buffed the horse. It no longer gets stuck on nothing. And get this, they buffed the dismount timers, okay? So now instead of 10 seconds, it's 5 seconds you get to do nothing and be sad and miserable about life. What great changes. What great changes. Yeah. Man, a lot of things they did were good, but a lot of things they have done is just, you know, I'm just scratching my head. I can't understand their stupidity, honestly.
Got confirmation of what will happen at the end of Season 1. Your seasonal characters will be...
No, actually, I can. No developers has still played the game. That's just it. No developer has still even tried to play their stupid game. That's the reality.
To the Eternal Realm as expected, and any items in your seasonal stash will go to a new page on the Eternal Realm stash that is withdraw only, and it just will have everything that you stored up in Season 1. You'll have to withdraw anything that you want from that page there before the end of the Season of Blood, or it will disappear. So get what you want, leave the rest. Past then, we have this tweet from the official Diablo account themselves with an image that actually sneaks some pretty new major information into the bottom right corner there with new paragon glyphs. That's not only quite a major change, but something that wasn't even remotely touched on in Season 1 or even mentioned in the stream that we've had so far. So that could have quite a major effect on the way that we make builds in Season 2, depending on what they actually decide to add. My immediate...
By the way, just FYI, yeah, not Duriel, this looks like Nurgle. Maybe you're gonna get sued, Blizzard, who knows.
The guess would be that they might start adding in season-specific paragon glyphs, like things that boost vampiric powers, or the vampiric curse mechanic in the season, for example. We'll have to see exactly what it is, as we had it confirmed this will be one of the things discussed.
Oh no, if they're gonna do that, that means that they're not gonna save any previous expansions, not expansions, but seasons, because that's gonna become impossible. That's so dumb. Blizzard, we don't want that. We want to keep all the updates from the previous expansions. Stop.
On the upcoming developer stream. Then we have confirmation of a bit of a slip up, as well as quite a bit of follow-up information regarding a major point from the first developer stream here, which is that the item power cap in Season 2 is going up to 920.
Wow.
Here, Joseph Pipiora, the game director of the live service side of Diablo 4, confirms that that is what he said in the stream a number of times. Then, not long after, we have a tweet he actually made correcting himself and confirming instead that the new top item power in game will actually be 925. So a very slight difference, but a good one to be be aware of. Then we get a bit of clarification on what this will actually be meaning for our equipment. It seems that percentage-based affixes will still have the same cap. A piece of 925 gear in Season 2 will probably have the same stat breakpoint as an 820 item is in the current state of the game.
Okay.
So your actual things like a bonus crit damage percentage affix will be exactly the same on a 925 as it was on an 820, and the general spread of affix power is going to be reworked and spread out differently to make this happen, which will likely move our old stat breakpoints around too, so we'll have to work out the new ones. We also learned that the same thing does not apply to flat value increases like flat damage, item power scaling legendary effects, maximum health increases, thorns, weapon damage specifically for weapons, or things like that, which will all reach notably higher numbers at 925 item power than they had at the old maximum. So percentage-based affixes will remain at a similar value on Top Gear as they are on Top Gear now, but flat values will in fact be...
So, essentially this is kind of the equivalent of just adding World Tier 5. But, well, I don't know if this is a less or more convoluted way of adding World Tier 5 to a degree. I mean, I was going to expect that he was going to say, well, your maximum item tier just gets a new line of text. Okay, so yeah, right. But they didn't say that. I'm assuming that's still going to happen, right? There's no way they don't do that, right? Or is that something that they're saving for World Tiers? But what's the point of bigger numbers? There is none. There's absolutely no point in bigger numbers if you don't fix the problems underlying everything. I would much be more interested in a fix for the stats and getting more interesting stats and ways to build characters and things like that. Instead, you're just giving us bigger numbers. Like we're some kind of World of Warcraft retail players who are jizzing themselves over the ability of, losing. Well, in Diablo it doesn't matter if you lose your progress on a character, you just roll a new one. That's how the game works. And if you haven't tried seasons, you should. Even if you're a casual player, this is still the optimal experience. I'm telling you. This is coming from a guy who sometimes plays PoE and he doesn't even do Kitab in the campaign by the time I'm bored. And guess what? Next season, no matter how far I get, I'm still gonna roll a new character. Try the seasons if you haven't. Actually, leave in the comments. I wonder if there are really people who don't roll season characters. I know Elon Musk is an eternal Andy, but man.
Getting a relatively big buff. Then we had someone asking about the stat breakpoint specifically and if they'd be moving, and the response is that they push back the threshold for what is considered ancestral gear, which isn't quite what the question was asking, and he then
that
says
sounds
that
also stupid. Because if you push back the threshold, what is considered ancestral gear, that means that theoretically, unless you buff the lower point of ancestral gear, you're gonna get ancestral gear that's just garbage. I really dislike the idea that there's like ancestral gear, nightmare gear, and all of that crap. I don't want to see item levels on items, okay? I just don't. It kind of ruins the experience, especially the fact when you notice in this game that item level 625 is the equivalent of an item level 724, if that's not a breakpoint. They're the same. There's no difference in them. Item levels are just stupid and they shouldn't even be showed to players because they make no sense.
Will come up on the upcoming stream, but if not, he will post more about it himself on Twitter, so we'll keep an eye here as well to see more information about this as it comes out after the next stream. Then we have a specific tweet from Adam Jackson, lead class designer, saying that enjoyers of the overpower mechanic will...
Lead class designer? Is this the person we need to get rid of? Because this guy has absolutely failed this game, okay? Class balance is my one of my biggest complaints. Again, season 1, I decided to roll sorceress. Guess what? Yeah, sure, you can play with Chain Lightning, you can play with Fireball, you can play with anything if you want to have a bad time. But the moment you switch to Ice Shards, and you figure out that ability that has 10 times better clear speed, 10 times better AoE, 10 times better single damage, feels more fluid, is 10 times more interactive with any other skill that you have, it's not even a contest. Ice Shards are 10 times more powerful than any other spell in the game. How about Adam? How about you? I don't know. Rebalance the character skills because Sorceress is unplayable. There's only one way to play it, and yeah, you can torture yourself and try to go for a chain lightning build. But the moment you switch to ice shots, even without having a zero affixes for it, you're instantaneously gonna be, wow, this is so much better. Unbelievably better. Yeah. How about, Adam, how about you start doing your job and making so every skill in the game is usable? Not just one or two skills per class.
Definitely be happy with the changes that are coming, and that is honestly quite exciting to see for sure, as Overpower before this update is the only weirdly flat damage modifier compared to things like crits and vulnerability, which are multipliers. They've also said that they
Overpower is stupid. If you have played a Necromancer, you know that the Blood Golem sacrifice adds a multiplier to Overpower. And I mean multiplier. I mean that thing increases your Overpower percent damage from 200 to very much literally 1,400. And guess what? Overpower damage is capped, so it's useless. Yeah, it would be great if they fixed that. And if they remove the cap, then, well, the overpowered Necromancer is gonna one-shot 5 Liliths in an instant, not just one.
They are going to talk about reworks to crit and vulnerable, though, as well. So with them changing all three of these damage buckets as a whole, it's impossible to really predict exactly what is going to happen here, but know that this sort of balance of these three stats is going to be a very major part of the discussion in the upcoming stream, and how they handle this is genuinely going to change how the game feels depending on what they do with it. Then finally we get one more tweet.
I was so happy when they nerfed crit and vulnerability in a patch, and but every player was like, "Hey, what are you doing? You critted, you nerfed crit and vulnerability. My character is weak now." Bro, you were still literally one-shotting everything. Relax, it's not that deep. 1. 2. That was the correct decision because the only way to play the game currently is max out crit damage, and max out vulnerability as much as possible. That's it. If you're not doing that, you're not playing the game correctly. And that's objective truth, sadly. So, they need to make a nerf crit and vulnerability while making base damage good enough. So, you have a choice. Do you want to go base damage? Do you want to go attack speed? Do you want to go crit and crit ratio? Maybe you want to go vulnerability. Open up more paths except the, just one that we currently have.
Tweet as a combo from Adam Fletcher and Adam Jackson. Fletcher mentions that the patch notes for the Season 2 release patch will come out the moment that the October 10th stream ends, so that we can see every single little note, and he brags about the size, saying that it is over 14,000 words. So we best get our reading glasses and get ready for that one, because that's pretty sizable. Adam Jackson responds to this, saying that due to the full patch notes being as big as they are, and because they are releasing them right after the stream will less be spent just going in and talking about each individual note than it will be spent talking about the overarching changes and their thought process behind all of them. From what I can tell from reading everything the devs are saying, there are going to be a ton of changes to classes and general game mechanics, all the way down to the base math at the core of damage calculations. Some of the actual patch notes may sound tiny when reading them as a result of this, but they'll probably have a much larger effect in how they interact with the game at large when such base things are changing. And so instead of diving into them individually as singular notes, they'd rather just talk about the ideas as a whole and why they made the changes they do, the intended direction that they want everything to be moving because of these changes. All I have to say is that the first stream that we had last week did make me a little bit more positive, so my guard is down ever so slightly, but they still have to absolutely nail the stream if they want to get more people back playing the game for Season 2, and that applies—
Look at this movement speed and mobility. Why can't all classes just have this? Why must we suffer for no reason?
To the patch as a whole too, especially because, well, the patch hits exactly when Season 2 starts, at the same exact moment on October 17th. That gives us 1 week between this stream and the patch notes that are dropping with it, then the patch itself applying just 1 week later. That is no time at all between the patch hitting and Season 2 starting as well, which means that what we learn better not need any changes, it better not have any glaring issues, because if there are things that might have benefited from a bit of a longer discussion with the community involved, there simply will not be any time to make changes before the patch hits from when we talk about it. So basically, it comes down to the stream, these patch notes, and the changes that they already know that they've done. It depends how the community receives them, because if they did a good job—
I'm not saying anything about paragon glyph changes. I really hope it's not season specific, because that would kind of ruin the game.
If the changes that they made are solid, then the game may well be properly enjoyable and get a bit of a fresh start going into Season 2. If they have any sort of catastrophic mistake, however, there will simply be no time or ability to recover for them. And that just about does it for now, everyone. I wasn't really expecting to make a news video on Diablo 4 in the handful of days between these two major streams, but the developers have been pretty active and pretty open with communication about what is going on at the moment, and with all the information that has been coming out, I just felt it would be a good idea to round it all up and talk about it before our next discussion, which will be entirely based on the October 10th stream, so look forward to that if you would rather watch a relatively concise and condensed version of the information they share, rather than watching the full 2-hour stream.
Good.
I hope you've enjoyed this breakdown of recent happenings surrounding Diablo 4 then, and I hope your time waiting to pass judgment on Season 2 is filled with joy, not just awaiting the stressful, dreadful results. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Okay, that wasn't horrible. That was pretty decent. That was Rage Gaming videos. We have seen it before. But in any case, I don't know. Overall, nothing said in this video was that great. But overall, the changes that we know that they're going to make to Season 2. And yeah, it seems like season mechanics are going to suck. I'm just going to put it out there. It seems like they suck. Because vampiric powers are the most generic bullshit ever. They do nothing. They accomplish nothing. They change nothing. They're just 10% more damage. 10% more damage. 10% more. Yeah, it's stupid. It's just useless garbage. That change that's not a season. That's like a minor update that you accidentally are selling as a season mechanic. It shouldn't even exist in the game. Okay, vampiric powers suck. Flat out, without exception, they're gonna suck. It's gonna be fine from the aspect that, well, it is still a multiplier, and we like damage multipliers because they're cool. But it's not great, you know. Caged Hearts at least had some hearts that changed how classes play and made them a lot better. Again, the Necromancer heart that made Macabre skills cast automatically. It was great. That shit was great. What can I say? But, you know, the Season of Blood is not going to have any of that, sadly. So, you know. But they are giving longevity to the game in terms that there are going to be things that you can farm, bosses to do. And that's going to be good, because that's going to, on average, increase the amount of time people play this game for, you know? Maybe now it's not going to be, oh, I'm going to play for a week and then I'm going to quit. Maybe now it's going to be, I'm going to play for 9 days and then I'm going to quit. It's still progress. It's still progress. Hey, as long as it's good. I don't care, honestly, as long as it's good. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said, saying thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.